Everybody, Christopher McGraw from Almost Adventurous here. Here to talk about the R1, the Patagonia R1, one of my favorite garments. I'm wearing one right now, so you can see the fit. And I've got two here because they did switch them up relatively recently. There are a few new options. There's an R1 Daily and an R1 Air. That's not what we're here to talk about today. I'm just talking about the regular R1, which has been a go-to for me for a while. We'll talk about the difference between the current generation and the previous generation. This is previous generation, and the one that I'm wearing is also previous generation. I have three of these because I wear them pretty much all winter long, whether I am doing an outdoor objective or not. I find them great for running in when it gets really cold. When I say really cold, I mean very, very cold. Probably well below freezing. For me, I tend to run fairly hot, so I throw on a pair of tights and an Airshed Pro pullover with maybe a long sleeve base layer underneath it, and I'm good to go down to just about freezing. If it's raining out, I'll throw on a Houdini Air, which is this guy right behind me, which I will talk about in a later video. But when it gets very cold, a grid fleece like the R1 is where I turn. Grid fleece, you can see here we got this Polartec fleece in a grid pattern, which helps you dump heat as well as you stay relatively warm. It doesn't block the wind all that well. That's not what it's meant to do. This one specifically is from fall of 2015. Got some stains on it, but I do love this bright color. If you're lost in the woods, hopefully Search and Rescue will be able to find you wearing something this bright. So fall 2015. This is another R1, bit newer. This is actually the only one that I've ever bought new from the company. Let's see, this is fall 2020. So the first way you could tell these apart is if you look at the chest area. The zipper pull is a little bit different. So there we go. We got a little piece of plastic on the zipper pull there, and this one's just knotted, so it's going to be a little bit lighter weight. The knot can come undone though. If you really are having an issue with it, you could super glue it, and then it definitely won't come undone. So that's one of the easiest to spot differences. Even easier is going to be the logo. One is screen and one is a tag. So there you go. On the left arm, we have the embroidered R on the old version, and we have the same thing on the new version. So that one is similar, is the same, but if we travel down, you'll see the thumb hole. So here's the thumb hole here for me. The thumb hole is a little bit different on this one. Feels a little bit different. Kind of folds over. I don't know if I like it as much, but it's also not a deal breaker for me. What I find with the R1 that I'm not a huge fan of as far as the change is with the old one, the grid fleece was throughout. So we had grid fleece in the hood. We have grid fleece all the way down to the bottom. So the thickness of this R1 is the same throughout. In this 2020 model, which I think either 2020 or 2019 was the first year they started doing this, the hood, you can kind of see through it. That's actually a capilene thermal weight hood there. And then it goes down to the grid fleece in the body. And then down at the bottom, it moves back down to that thermal weight. And I know why they did it. They did it to save money. Not save money, to save weight. Because the thermal weight is quite a, it's a bit lighter. That being said, it isn't as warm. You can throw a hat on or whatnot, but if you're just using this under your hood, a lot of times your head is a bit warmer than the rest of your body, so I think that's probably why they did it there. And another thing being at the bottom, you're gonna be wearing pants, so maybe the extra layer of grid fleece there isn't as important. But still, yeah. We also have that thermal weight on the sides, which does, if you run warm, that'll help you dump heat faster. I just kind of wish they had created almost a new garment. To me, the R1 was perfect for my use case, and obviously this is just my opinion. There's a lot of people who use these for climbing or running or hiking or whatever. But for me, I like having the same weight all over the place. And so just out of the three, I end up wearing this one less because it's not as warm. So it's almost like a lighter weight. It's like an R0.75 for me, rather than an R1 as far as weight goes. Everything else is pretty much the same. Like I said, the thumb loops are a little different, but everything else here, you can hang it up by the tag here. The fit is essentially the same. See, the tag is the same here. I'm a medium in all three of these. As far as fit goes, it is a slimmer fitting garment. So I'm 5'7", my wingspan's 5'9". Throw my thumbs in the thumb holes here. So there we go. It fits underneath my climbing harness, which is why it does go so low. I like that a lot. So my climbing harness comes across here. You can unzip it all the way to dump heat, or you can unzip this here, and you see there's no grid fleece inside of the pocket here. And then the hood is very tight, so it's meant to go under a helmet. Definitely cannot go over a helmet. And so I can't zip it up because the microphone's in the way, but it almost acts as a balaclava here. So it'll protect you basically up to your nose when zipped up. In the previous version, there was a asymmetrical zipper, which people love. They got rid of that, so this one zips up straight up the middle. I don't really care either way. I've had both, and this is the one that I ended up going with. I think that this fabric here that rests along your chin when it's zipped up is quite soft and comfortable. So not having the asymmetrical zipper is not a deal breaker for me. So like I said, they did it for weight savings. So let's go over the weight. Let's see if I can roll this up to be small enough to fit on that scale without draping over it. All right. All right, so we're talking 387 grams for the old version. And the new version should be lighter. Otherwise, other than it not being warmer, I don't know why they would have changed it. All right, so 387. The new one is quite a bit lighter at 313. So there you go. For those of you who are counting your grams, the newest version is going to be quite a bit lighter than the older version. But that's the difference between the newest generation of R1 and the previous generation of R1. If it ain't broke, don't fix it comes to mind. I like the older generation, which I guess for me is good because they pop up every now and then online and you can pick them up for a fairly good price. I don't remember what I paid for either of these. Brand new, they're around, I think $169 is what they used to be at. I don't know if they've increased prices since I bought that purple one. I probably got both of these for under, both the chartreuse one and then this teal and purple one for under that price combined. So shop sustainably, shop used, and you could save yourself a ton of money. There you go, the new and the old Patagonia R1.